Welcome to Tax Package e-signing that actually works, brought to you by SafeSend. Most likely, you've delivered tax returns to your clients through some kind of digital resource, be it a password-protected PDF attached to an email or a portal. Maybe you paired your portal with an e-sign solution, or perhaps you've used a standalone e-sign solution to simply deliver the signing package to your clients and then delivered their tax return through some other work method. In today's tax and accounting firms, e-signatures has truly become an essential. And here are 5 reasons why. First, e-signatures are simple and intuitive. Second, they're highly secure. When a client signs through an e-signature product, you know who signed it, when they signed it, and even where they signed it from. Electronic signatures are also cost-effective, and they allow for faster processing. Now, that faster processing also allows your client to have faster turnaround time, as when they complete their e-sign, there's often no additional steps that they have to take. You receive an automatic notification. And this gives your client convenience and then some. So it's convenient for yourself, it's convenient for your client. They can sign it anywhere, anytime, and often from any device. Now the question is, restarting. Now a natural question for many clients and even firm staff is, are e-signatures safe? And the short answer for this is yes. E-signatures are regulated, such as the e-sign Act of 2000. There's audit logs, multi-factor authentication. Clients go through identity verifications for KBA, and the documents that they sign are often locked down. In many ways, electronic signature is more secure than paper. How many times over the years has a spouse signed the tax return for both the taxpayer and the spouse? Now, another question as well is, are e-signatures legal? Do they stand up in court? Well, the Uniform Electronic Transactions Act and the Electronic Signatures and Global and National Commerce Act really solidified the legal landscape. Okay, restarting. Another question firms ask themselves is, are e-signatures legal? Well, the Uniform Electronic Transactions Act and the Electronic Signatures and Global and National Commerce Act of 2000 really solidified the landscape of the legality of the use of electronic signatures. Now, what about e-sign in accounting? What items can we sign? Well, here's a short list of some of the items that have recently been expanded to be included in the allowance for e-signing. You can see here the 3115, the 8832, as well as several different types of 1120 returns. And then most recently, 706 and 709 were also added. And this list continues to expand and grow, especially as COVID has continued to impact the tax and accounting space. Here are 10 traits of a tax return e-sign solution that works. First, your client needs a system that allows them to review, sign, and pay through a single email. On your firm side, you need something that allows you to standardize your delivery regardless of entity type, as well as a system that's going to automate the addition of the signature boxes to those federal and state e-signing forms. Now, for your clients as well, you may or may not have both email addresses if it's a married filing joint return, or your married filing joint clients may share an email address. You want to make sure that your system has a good way of handling that. Item number 6 here is also a very important one. So if you're going to make a note, circle this. You want a system that doesn't require your client to have a separate account or a special username and password, especially when clients are only doing something, say, on a quarterly basis. It's very difficult to remember these usernames and passwords, and that can become a real stumbling block. So you really want something that's got a multi-factor authentication feature built in, like SafeSend Returns does. Finally, on this screen, you want something that is going to easily facilitate your client making those estimated tax payments. So you want something that's going to send them reminders, allow them to easily get in, see what authorities they owe, what their payment options are, and take care of making those estimated payments. Now, here we have a few bonus traits that we really see as an essential need in a good e-sign solution. One, for those entity returns that you're sending out the door, you need to have a way of being able to do the K-1 distribution right through that system, be it either from your firm or your client who's signing that return. Additionally, item 13 here, you want to make sure that you got something that's got branding that matches your firm. It's just natural that your clients are going to be looking for something that has your name and logo on it. So you want to make sure that when that email goes to your client, everything looks like it's coming from you. And then finally, you want something that's got a great knowledge-based authentication process, especially for your 1040 clients. There is more to eSign than just delivering the tax return. Here's a good example of the various items throughout the tax engagement lifecycle that your client will need to sign. At the start of tax season, you send out your engagement letters. The client needs to sign those and return those. Perhaps you send your engagement letters out with your organizers. You want to be able to send that engagement letter with the organizer. For these two things, if you're a SafeSend returns customer, you've got an option of SafeSend signatures or SafeSend organizers. Now, once the client has sent that information back, you've reviewed and prepared that return, that's where you can use SafeSend returns to automate that tax return assembly, delivery, and e-signing. Now, when it comes to your firm, what do you need in a e-sign package to make it work? Well, you need something that's going to have easy assembly and delivery, give you the ability to add your ERO signatures. You want something that's going to automatically add your signature boxes and give you a great way to track that return so you don't have to chase down clients to get those signed to 8879s back. You also want something that's going to remind your clients when they have a payment coming due, allow them to do K1 distribution, and then also give them a way of paying your invoice. Now, on your client side, what does your client need in an e-sign solution? Well, they need something that's going to allow them to review their tax return, approve it, and sign it all in one. They also need something that's going to help them make their payment. So if they have a balance due or estimated taxes coming in, if it is an entity return, the client needs a way of being able to send those K1s out to the other individuals that are involved with that return or other entities that are involved with that return. And then lastly, they also need the ability to pay your invoice. So let's take a quick look at SafeSend returns. Now, with SafeSend returns, the client experience begins with an email. If I open up this email, you can see all the branding here is for my firm. All the client has to do is click on this link, and this allows them to get into their tax return. So this client doesn't have a special account. They're just going to come in here, click here to get started, and then go through a multi-factor authentication process. After entering their social security number, they can request an access code. I'm just going to copy the access code. And now the client can go through the review and signing process. When they come in here, they're just going to click here to begin, read their messages, review the tax return, and now they're taken to their e-sign. So I'm going to click on e-sign here, and I'm going to go through my knowledge-based authentication process. I'm going to note that I've reviewed the tax return and I consent to e-sign. And now I have to go through my KBA process. So I have to answer 3 of 5 questions correctly. As soon as I get my third question correct, I go to the e-signing. But what happens if I fail? Well, with SafeSend returns, if your client fails the knowledge-based authentication process, we give them a message on screen saying, we're sorry you failed. And then we take them directly to the manual signing area so the client can complete their signing even though they failed KBA. Now, when they pass KBA, and over 97% of the clients that go through SafeSend returns do pass KBA, they can come here and complete their signing. So they click on Start, select the signature. We give them a signature they can simply accept. Or if they are using something with a touch screen or a stylus, they can hit Draw and then complete their signing with their finger or their stylus. I'll hit Apply, and now I just next my way through the rest of the signing of the return. Once I've completed my signing, I hit Continue. When I hit Continue, this is when your firm receives notification that this return has been signed. I'm going to hit Continue. And now this takes me to where I can go ahead and make my payments. So I click on the due date of the item that I want to pay, click on the authority I want to pay, and then I can download my voucher or I can hit Pay Online, which will take me to the taxing authority's website where I can go ahead and complete my payment. Once I've made that payment, I can hit Add Payment Details and update our system with the amount that I paid and the date that I paid it. And once I hit OK, now I, as the client, know that this has been paid, but also you're receiving notification that that amount's been paid as well. I'm going to click on done. As far as the client's concerned, he's taken care of, but when Dan gets his email reminding him that he needs to come in and pay his estimated tax payment, say in the third or fourth quarter, he can come in here from that reminder email, click on make tax payments and make the payment just like what we saw. If you included an invoice with the return, the invoice would be in that same screen where you click on it and then make his payment as well. Now, after I've made my payment, I've taken care of everything I need to. So what happens on your end? This client's completed the signing of the return. They've made their payments. How do you know what's going on? Well, you've received that email notification that says, hey, this return's been signed. But even if you haven't received that, when you're in your firm experience here with SafeSend returns, you can actually see the status of the return right here on this delivered returns report. Now, if I want to, it's very easy for me to modify this list. If I click on the drop down here, I can hit awaiting e-sign. Now I've got my list of clients that I'm waiting for e-signing for. So I can mark all of them, hit send reminder, and I can send a mass reminder for all those clients. But while you're thinking about that, we do have automated reminders for that as well. So your clients will receive reminders if they haven't completed their signing. Here within SafeSend returns, perhaps a client has called and has a question about the return. Our client view feature is great just for that. If I hit client view, click on the client's link here, this lets me go right into that client's tax return so I can answer any questions that they have. I can click here to get started just like the client would. And then I'll hit distribute K1s. Let's restart that. Okay. Now here on the firm administration end, okay. Shoot, some hour in. Okay. All right. Now for this return that we just saw, if you want to know what the status of a return is, like this client that says awaiting e-sign, you can just click on this action column, select client tracking, and here you can see everything that's happened with that return since we sent it out the door. So here I can see where the client opened the email, I can see when they accessed that, and I can also see that they've gone through the knowledge-based authentication process. Now in this case, this was a single return. If this was married, no, I'm not even gonna say it. Let's redo that. Okay. Now that the return's been signed, you can see that information here on our delivered returns report. But if you want to know what's going on with the return, perhaps this return Troy that says awaiting e-sign, you want to know what the status of that is, you can simply click on this button here, select client tracking, and this lets you know everything that's gone on with this return since it's been sent out to the client. All right, I want to restart that. All right. Now here on the firm end, under our action column, we have several convenience features here for you. If I click on the drop down, you've got an option here that says client view. This allows you to go into the tax return just like the client would. So if the client calls you with a question, I'll do that here with this partnership return. One of the things we mentioned earlier is having the ability to do K1 distribution as one of those must-have traits. So here in SafeSend returns, if I click here to get started, I'm going into that client's return. I can simply hit distribute K1s, mark send electronically, and then I can mark off the partner that I want to send, hit email documents. I just delivered that K1 package off to that client. I'll hit done, and back here in SafeSend returns, how do I know who's received their K1 package and who hasn't? Well, it's very simple. Under that same menu, I can go to where it says client tracking. I can see everything that's happened with this return since I sent it out the door. So I can see if the client opened the email. Here I can see that the K1 was distributed to JNY partners. And here I can see JNY partners has consented. So we track this information on a K1 recipient specific basis. Likewise, for 1040 clients, you can see if a client's gone through and passed or failed KBA. You can see if a taxpayer is signed and the spouse hasn't. So it's very easy to see what this record is. Thank you for taking the time to learn more about tax package e-signing that actually works. We hope you enjoy the rest of the beach retreat. Thank you.